production.
Hey, hey, it's me, and this is Adam. It's not David. He can't make it tonight, so Adam's gonna hang out with us, and we're gonna try this. I don't know. We're gonna give it a shot.
We're going to vibe regardless. We got plenty to talk about from the Route 66 Nationals that occurred over the weekend. And I am
A ton.
very excited to share my thoughts and opinions that are definitely going to be unfiltered tonight on this episode of Nitro Nation.
I didn't know we were being unfiltered, so I will follow in suit because I'm prepared. For full transparency,
I told Taylor I have plenty of quarters tonight that I can throw into the jar if I need to.
I love that. All right, I'm in too. I'll have to find some though. Full transparency, I was on a little vacation away this weekend, but I was able to catch the finals on Sunday, and I think there's a lot that we can talk about from that alone. So, the first one I would like to talk about, if that's okay with you, because personally it's the one that like stuck out to me. It's been on my feed today, and I wish I had the post I could pull up to reference and have it on screen. But I'll talk to it if that's all right. Is the Pro Stock Motorcycle Final between Matt and Angie Smith. Obviously, you and I were talking when it happened, and we were like, "Oh, this is a very, very tricky situation. Not only as a race team, but like as a marriage and a couple, right?" But it seems there's been a little development in that discourse. They put a Facebook post out today that there are people that are saying that Matt sabotaged intentionally Angie's bike, which, as we know, did not leave the starting line. I wish I had a video of it. I'm sorry. David's usually really good at that. I am not. Did not leave the starting line in the final against Matt, and he won. She went into full details about how after the semis, there was something wrong with her transmission. She swapped it with a bunch of other people on their team. She had a problem during her burnout, and then when she let the clutch out to leave, there was nothing there. She kind of clarified that it was her working on her bike, not even Matt, and that he wouldn't do that. So very crazy. I feel like I haven't, like, there's drama, of course, in this sport, but like this is a whole weird other level of drama.
It's almost like the fans want some type of marriage counseling to happen because of this event. Yet we all know it's just racing. It's one of those deals, and unfortunately, It happens to two of the best in pro stock motorcycle at the moment. And man, I really, really felt bad for Angie. My God, that she had almost a flawless, perfect weekend until that final. Everything that could go right went right until it all went wrong and fell apart. It's insane that the racing gods can be so giving, yet they can be so ruthless. And they were very ruthless in that final.
Yeah, absolutely. I think anybody who watched it would argue that it was her race to lose. It just happened to be that she did lose. Yeah. And, when we were talking about it, even I was like, there's three things of the elements of this that are super tricky. One, he's the team owner. Two, he has been open that he tunes the bikes and works on them. And three, they're married, right? So, I mean, we've seen them in a final before. It was very different. Angie came out the winner in that one, but at least they got to race. But there was even speculation back then that like Matt intentionally let out because they were able to race each other and let her win. And I just don't think and I wanted Angie to win, full on girl supporter. But if you put the two side by side in their record and who has the most wins, who has the most world championships, it's Matt. That's right. So for what reason, when Matt is battling a championship back then, not this one in Chicago here, would he purposely lay anything down so that Angie can get a win? I just don't think that they have it in them. And I think the roles are the same here. I don't think there's anybody that's going to purposely sabotage anything just to get a win. I think of all the people Matt Smith wants to race somebody to win a round, let alone a race.
Definitely. If you're a true competitor, and this goes across all realms of sport, not just motorsport, but football, basketball, soccer. If you have either a family member or literally like playing against your son or your husband or wife, you want to give them the absolute best. You want to come after them with all you got, but you want to make sure they prepare on their own and that they've done their due diligence and that you're not going to get in the way to try to hamper that at any means, because that's the lowest form of sportsmanship. That's not even sportsmanship. That's the anti-sportsmanship if you're just trying to sabotage someone. So I totally believe that with knowing the Smiths and just their record, that it definitely was truly a mechanical issue out of their hands.
Yeah, and honestly, we saw it in the semis with Braden Davis, which is how I think Matt, it was either Matt or Angie that was able to um, move past Braden, but Braden had the same thing. He let the clutch out and he didn't move. Very much so the same exact, and maybe it's not the same once we get into details of what exactly happened, but when you're watching the race, it's exactly what happened. So I guess it's just a little odd to me, and I get the marriage thing and team owner thing and all the things we already talked about. Like that, of course, plays a factor into this discourse, but drama, the fact that somebody even had to make a Facebook post about it is like, oh my gosh, what are we amounting to?
It's like, well, are we really that desperate to try to create some type of reality TV drama? And God knows we don't need any type of that within the drag racing community. There's already enough drama across the nation with that. So let's try to keep it
Yeah.
clean. Let's stick to racing. Let's stay with racing.
Yeah, and you know what? Some of the drama that I personally loved was the first of all, Austin Prock going rounds, but second of all, what happened in the it wasn't the semis, was it the quarterfinals with JR Todd? Um Brilliant. I mean, brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant. The little bit of time that I've been truly over full on drag racing fan, what I saw, I knew right there that was insane, just mind boggling what we saw. That was out of this world type of driving.
And it's also like it gives me very like old school vibes. Like I feel okay, we want to put quarters in the jar. We want to talk about things we shouldn't talk about. I'm going to bring something up. Coming into the room with something controversial here. Do we all remember when Cameron Foray tried to do the exact same kind of games with Steve Torrance on the starting line and then got literally assaulted for doing it at the top end? I do. So this is what we're getting back to. I feel like that really halted a lot of that stuff, and then the drivers became a little more, in my opinion, what I call like PC of, well, I know that, for instance, because this is true, I've heard that John Force has a very specific starting line procedure, and other drivers just kind of accommodate that. They know what he does, they just do around it. And frankly, in that situation, Cameron Foray did what he had to do because his car wasn't going to beat Steve Torrance. And I don't know if Austin did that for the same reason, knowing that JR has an insane car this year and Coletta just does in general, or if I know that there's some, and I don't know the backstory of it, so I apologize, but both Austin have talked to it about how they've had discourse as drivers before already and some drama. But oh my god, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. I feel like since the whole Steve Torrance debacle, we haven't really seen a lot of this, but there are so many drivers that'll tell you like it's won and lost on the starting line. So he was just doing what he had to do.
Yep. And once again, it goes back to competition. Uh, they they were ready to go. They weren't waiting for anything. They were like, all right, we're here. We're staged. We're not only pre-staged. We're staged. We're geared and ready to go. We know what we got. We got to get this rocket ship down the straight. And sure enough, they lined right up and they shot off and made it all the way. A complete run. Several complete runs this weekend
Yeah.
for Tasca and Proc.
Yeah.
That should be a warning shot to the rest of the field that they've figured something out with the Ford Power plant, making it all the way to the semis. It's looking good for them. Everybody better step their game up because once they get to the top, it could be a long rest of the year.
Yeah, and honestly, like the car, I don't think, and I don't want to say this because like there's anything wrong with his team. I don't think the driver has been the problem. I think the car has been mainly the problem for them this year, right? So, um, he said very frankly in his Gainesville interview when he struggled that the last time that his dad, his crew chief, made the switch between manufacturing companies like that, it took them like 4 or 5 races, and by the fifth one they won, and then they won 3 in a row. So this is really approaching that same territory. And they had a really good shot at it this weekend. And you could tell Austin was feeling very confident. And if it doesn't scare you that he did that on the starting line to show that he's still sharp and that he is not the problem and that it's really just getting that car combination figured out, that's terrifying. If he can get the right car underneath him, I would be terrified.
Yep, it could really open up the funny car point system wide open over the summer, especially since we're coming up to a brand new track. We'll get into the new track later, but we have a new track that we're going to in 2 weeks, and a little bit of a summer stretch before the month shutdown, or about a month. So it really could start dicing it up here shortly.
And that leaves a lot of open area and territory for like some extra testing time, which I am sure teams like Bob Tasca's team will specifically be taking advantage of. And we actually even heard, gosh, was it between Gainesville or maybe it was in like post Phoenix? We had somebody in our comments here on stream telling us that they had tested and that they did very well. Like maybe not like JR Todd well right now, but very well compared to where they were in Gainesville. So I can imagine this is probably going to be an upcoming problem for a lot of full time teams.
It's a good thing. Competition's great. And
Yeah,
honestly, if I can just speak for it, this year's competition has been insanely tight for the funny car. Funny car is where it's at now. Top fuel, it's kind of it's a runaway for the top two spots, but the rest of the field, it's a different story. Very different
right,
story. But it
right.
like this season so far has been very entertaining, and honestly, a lot of unpredictability with the midfield, with the mid pack.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of shakeups. I mean, we've already seen some like number 16 qualifiers taking down number ones or whatever it may be. And honestly, without jumping ahead to what I know we want to get into as well, there are a lot of part-time teams that are taking advantage of the new IHRA program, entering those and getting some really, really good eighth mile times and being very competitive there. Obviously, much smaller scale, smaller teams, so it's not like they're going up against any Doug Colettas or Sean Langdons there necessarily. But not this last weekend, but the weekend prior, the Freeman team and Cameron Frey were there and they made it to the finals. That is a testament to the strides that that team is making, doing more events and races as well. That's going to be huge for their program. Jasmine Salinas is another one. We've seen her make, I think, at least 2 finals in IHRA. Gary Pritchett, who drives for Doug Foley, I don't know if they're going to be doing a whole lot more NHRA, but they have won 2 events in the top fuel category there alone. So a lot of people are taking advantage of that program and using it as testing and becoming very successful too. So we could talk about those top 4 or 5 that are kind of not really interchangeable unless there's like bad weather, bad weekend, whatever it may be. But there are always those little variables that you can't ever sleep on as well.
Definitely. And another thing that's been a really hectic variable all season has been the weather. The weather changes throughout the
Yeah,
weekend. You go from the absolute hellscape that was Phoenix to the deluge that was South Georgia to the windy city living up to its name this past weekend.
absolutely.
I don't know if anyone caught any of the pro stock motorcycles, but I would not have wanted to go out on one of those. They were
No.
completely sideways, but they
And
still
Matt
ran
Smith,
200 miles an hour, which is insane.
yeah, insane. And Matt Smith even said in a top end interview after getting close to the wall, he's like, yeah, it's probably not safe for us to run out here, but here we are. And you got to remember, those guys don't get the full nitro schedule. The pro stock class in general is more limited. So I don't disagree. And even the pro stock class was sketchy to watch. You watch their
Yeah.
parachutes just in the other lane. There was trash on the actual track, which obviously poses a timing issue. Jason Galvin was over on NHRA.TV the whole time being like, guys, this can actually determine a race. And it's not as easy as just driving your cars back and hot lapping it in these vehicles. So we have to be mindful. I mean, it was wild watching those bikes. Oh, couldn't
Yeah,
catch me doing it. No.
it's almost like, from an outside perspective, easily nightmare fuel for these guys. It's a little bit of an adverse condition, but I'm still going to try to hit 200 at the line.
Yep. And they did. They did. They tried
Yeah.
and they did. Angie
Yep.
Smith was rocketing 200 miles an hour. I'm like, oh my God. Gracious. All right. Well, couldn't be me, but I'm glad she did it. And
Yeah.
I wish she would have won. I mean, it wasn't just Angie. We were full team girl, for lack of a better term, this weekend.
For some of you that might follow the series that I'm a little more familiar with stock cars, it was not really a banner weekend for female girly pops in the driver's seat. But drag racing side, very much a girly pop diva scene, and literally almost had a shot at having one female represented in each final. Which, once
Yeah.
again, kudos to the diversity of the drivers in drag racing, not just NHRA, but IHRA and all the other series that are across America. It's really is the land of true opportunity. I
Yeah.
wish I would see more of that in my realm of the world. But it's that there was a little time a while ago. Unfortunately, it's kind of gone dormant. We have a few that are here and there trying to make a name for themselves, but unfortunately, it just hasn't really panned out or worked out, or they've jumped series and gone on to be successful elsewhere. And not to continue on my tirade of females in stock car racing. Let's get back to drag racing. Uh, Shout out Alexis DeJoria. Wow, what a run! What a run!
Yeah, honestly, insane because even in the highest level of the sportsman classes, we had two females uh almost in the finals. So Angel Sampey was in the top alcohol dragster final, and Annie Whiteley was in the semis, had a really great car, could have also made it to the final. Just had two insane cars she had to try to pass to get there. And then we had Erica Enders, who was onto the semis, Alexis DeJoria, Angie Smith, Leah Pruitt made it to the semis again. That girl's
Yep.
win is just around the corner, I swear. They're gonna break through and then they're gonna be terrifying as well. So I agree. It is very disheartening as somebody who's only learning about the stock car world as coming into this group. It was a very big shock and continues to be a shock to me. Just the absolute madness of hate and like lack of diversity and lack of willingness to even have that around in there. Because thank you to like Shirley Muldowney, people like her, and many other women. I mean, Brittany Force even has been in the game for years, decade. Uh, Without people like her, this probably would not be possible. They genuinely did not have an easy time. So maybe this is just that era for stock car. They're going through the roughage now, so that maybe in 25 years when it's easier for women. Shout out to women like Destiny Spurlock for absolutely killing it and trying to break down those barriers even further. Which, I mean, without getting into stock car, crazy to me that that was even a historical milestone that had to be broken still. Again, my NHRA mind cannot comprehend that. So
My
hopefully that's
stock
just
car
the
brain,
era.
honestly, my stock car brain still can't fathom that. But yet, I was at literally the groundbreaking for Destiny in stock car racing this year. Earlier at Hickory in the Arca East series, she made her national debut. It was the first Black female to run a nationally sanctioned NASCAR event. It only took until the year 2026 for it to happen, which, like you said, mind blowing, mind boggling.
Yeah.
We've been around for over 75 years, and this is just happening for us. You guys have
Yeah.
been around for, well, NHRA 75 years this year.
Yeah.
This is old news. This has been
Yeah.
going on since, heck, basically the dawn of the sport. So
Right.
for it to finally start working in my world, it's great. I wish we would have more instant results with it, but I
Yeah.
understand it does take time, and it really is more so a land of opportunities, or finding that
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah, and I think there's a little bit of like without really just like full blown just getting into this, but there's a little bit of difference too, especially when it
Mhm.
comes to having a female driver versus male. Male drivers, just literally statistically in NHRA, it's a little different. I understand that, again, we've kind of like broken this mold and barrier, and we're ahead of the stock car game as far as this. But specifically, like in NASCAR, and I've heard this from females too, the opportunity is not only not as much, but they don't get into as large of teams. They don't get the parts that men get, the good quality, high quality parts. They don't get offered as many sponsorships, races, etc. Not to mention all of the social media discourse that goes on with them. Um, Throwing a quarter in, maybe I shouldn't be talking about this. Just read a comment today about what happened very specifically with the Natalie Decker situation in the Craftsman Truck Series. And somebody literally commented on something saying that they shouldn't be allowed to drive cars during their week. Basic human anatomy would let you know that that has literally nothing to do with it. Yeah, you want to call it
Yeah.
hormonal, not even the week you're hormonal. I mean, it's just that kind of discourse. And then there's people who own teams, there's people who allow sponsorships, there's people who own cars, parts that also believe these things. So it's not making it any easier for these females to get in. And that makes me really sad because we have females in NHRA with the highest caliber teams and parts and cars and constant testing. Leah Pruitt, Alexis DeJoria, not saying it's easy for them by any means, but just look at what they've been able to be a part of that other women are fighting in the other kinds of series. Like, it is really hard for me to comprehend, actually.
Yep, it definitely is. It's a sad state of affairs with motorsports, but yet I still see the glimmer of hope. There
Yeah.
are females that are trying to make a real name for themselves, not because of,
Yeah.
oh, I have money, oh, I have a bunch of followers on social media, oh, well,
Yeah.
I can show you pictures of my body to sell sponsorship. Now, there's actual true grassroots racers that are out there that are willing to put the time and effort in. They just have to get that opportunity. And I think
Yeah.
also, not to continue on with stock cars, but with how the charter system now has changed and evolved, it's not so much relying so much on sponsorship dollars. It really is now starting to fall down to, okay, you have talent, we want to put you in a ride now at the very top level. So eventually from the top level, it will trickle down to the lower ranks where it's like, all right, well, hey, you got talent. We're going to invest in you. You probably will get a development contract with X, Y, or Z team, and you probably will end up in the Cup Series, the Premier Series. But once again, it's just about timing. And unfortunately, the time right now is just kind of crappy for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is like very much so, for lack of a better term, like the struggle era for it. I see a lot of on my racing pages when I'm scrolling my own feeds, so many young girls are a part of sprint car series, are a part of any form of like stock car or dirt or asphalt. So I know that the mold is being broken like right now, but it does play a hard time for people like people, women my age, women within 5 years younger than me, that are like, yeah, I raced when I was a teenager as well, I want to try this, I think I'd be good at it. It makes it harder for them. But I agree with you, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, in my opinion. Even just getting into the sport very newly, I feel like there is. And I feel like by the time we are maybe grandparents, which really sucks, we're gonna see that that mold has been broken, and that those young kids that are on my newsfeed right now are Cup Series drivers, which would be absolutely insane and wonderful. But I think that's that light at the end of the tunnel for us.
Definitely, definitely. Shifting gears.
So yeah, yeah. Let's actually, shifting gears. We'll get back to what we're here for. Sorry, you get me on a rant about women in motorsports. I've been and done here before. I'm sorry. I just can't help myself.
Look, I think this is a great platform, though, to be able to, preach a little bit of the gospel truth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I've put a lot of posts on social media where I'm like, International Women's Day, Women's Month. Don't come and give me love. I'm fine. I will be fine. I'm okay. Like, go over to those ladies' pages, find them, watch an ARCA race, and just go on Instagram and look up any of the ladies' names and just go give them a comment. Give them like a virtual. hug or something because they need it more than I do. But I digress. Um, we've talked about it a little bit, but I want to go back to it because we cannot overlook the Colettas.
Big bad Coletta, I tell you.
What in the
That's
world are those teams going to do with those guys?
I was talking to our ATYL Media friend Dom Joseph about just kind of the state of NHRA currently, and he told me just within a few words. He said, "Coletta Motorsports is a problem, and
Yeah.
they are
Yes.
a major problem. They are a problem in the best kind of way. They're a problem because they have gotten so far ahead of the competition that not only one of their top field dragsters, but both of their top field dragsters are consistently pumping out 340 plus runs all the
Yeah.
time, every weekend, if not at the same time against each other, not just in qualifying, but also in eliminations. It's
Yeah.
wild to think and to see just how far ahead they are right now, and everybody else is essentially playing for, I would say second, but second place is already taken over by a
Yeah.
collective guard.
Yeah.
So really, everyone's playing for third right now. It's
And even then, Leah Pruitt is in third, and like, good luck catching her too. She's got a
yeah,
wally like right around the corner.
yeah. It really is becoming a battle for the mid pack.
Yeah.
And when you do look at the mid pack with the points, it is tight. It is very
Yep.
close.
Yeah.
For top fuel. But
It's
yeah, the
going to be a
Coletta,
battle of who wants to try to get into the countdown. I think at
yes,
this point to even just try to get a place.
yes. The
Yeah.
countdown, it's, we like to say, oh, that's not till September. That's not a whole lot of events from now. We're
Yeah.
May is basically done. Let's just go ahead and face it. May is basically done. The summer
Yeah.
stretch is really beginning next weekend in Maryland. Uh, if this is when the pay window starts opening, if you want to get into the countdown, so
Yeah,
teams,
not only that, but like we've got the Western Swing
yeah,
that's going to be approaching. September is the big go where you've got every team on the planet that owns any sort of nitro car trying to enter. You're not even guaranteed to qualify.
hmm
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of room for error here. And I believe if I heard correctly when I was listening on Sunday, that Sean Langdon is a full race ahead in points of Doug Coletta.
he is, which
I
is
mean, what do you
scary.
even do about that?
Keep winning.
Yeah, I guess.
I
I
mean,
mean, why
for
not?
them, yeah, keep winning. There's no need really to change. They What they can't do is get complacent. The
Right.
competitor
Or
in them,
comfortable. Yeah.
they have to continue to evolve that dominance that they already are at. They're already here, but they got to keep shooting for higher, which is scary. How much higher can they go?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
ridiculous. We already hit 345, so obviously now we're shooting for anything over 345. Uh, yeah,
Ugh,
we
no,
thought
thank
all
you.
that speed was with John Force in their top fuel car.
Yep.
Now I will grant it though. They did go over 340 this weekend on a run. So they're there. Maddie, she's already run 340 plus a couple times. Her consistency, it's as much as I want to say that her consistency is good, I feel like she has kind of plateaued over the last two events.
I
I
agree.
I
I agree. And I
really
don't think that's anything against her. I think
mhm.
that's just new team struggles.
Yes. And with Maddie, I mean, obviously there is no ceiling for her. It's only going to be up. She is what I wish we could have in the stock car world. Have young, fresh
Yeah.
talent, truly grassroots, all about talent that ended up getting in a great situation and scenario with Ron
Yeah.
Cap partnership with Napa and Carlisle. If we could have some kind of shining beam of hope like that, that would be fantastic. So right now
Yeah.
she's being consistent. I think the next step will be for her to get past the quarters and get into the semis.
Yeah.
But like we just said, the competition for the midfield right now is tight. So
Yeah.
it's gonna take everything going perfectly for it to
Yeah.
happen.
I know we've talked about Destiny Spurlock, and I know you're like, I hope we see this in our side. I think Destiny is right there. I really do.
Yeah.
I think, I think, I don't think she needs to be so good at Hickory, and
Mhm.
she did so good at the super speedways. She has a great personality. I think she's right there. I think we need. You just wanted to hear from her. She's screaming at the top end. I mean, she's also the team owner, so that's got to be a whole different kind of level of emotion. But I loved seeing that this weekend.
Definitely, definitely. It's good to have. It's good to have that personality. Something that obviously drag racing is known for is being loud and having out there personalities, not vanilla and just hey yeah, the car really good. Oh no, we're going
Yeah.
around like that. That if you're a fan or just some like I mean, heck, when I saw my first John Force interview a long time ago, it was like, wow, this guy's really jacked up on this. I might need to take a look at it. I took a
Yeah.
look at it.
Yeah.
I didn't appreciate it. I last year I know I've documented this numerous times on across the ATYL platforms, but when you go and you experience in person, you have an entire completely different appreciation for what goes in
Yeah.
to running. It is quite a craft.
And when Tony Stewart tells Kevin Harvick that that is the truth and that is
Yeah.
coming from the guy himself. I mean, this is a goat. You have to listen to him. I couldn't agree more. And just circling back, Krista Baldwin was on NHRA.TV because she did not advance past Maddie Gordon, and she's looking for some funding. So I'm hoping that we see her back more this year because I always root for her, and she's like the only female top fuel team owner, third generation. I mean, how can you not love that story? But I digress. Speaking of attending races in person, we do have one coming up at a brand new track that people who might be listening to this might be able to attend and experience for the first time in Maryland. Maryland.
Maryland, back to the
Yeah.
Mid Atlantic.
Yeah.
Kind of odd not going to Virginia.
Yeah, but honestly, I'm kind of here for it. I've heard from other drivers that are from the area. Who was it? Justin Ashley. He's like, I raced there. I didn't race top fuel there, but I've raced there. I've been there. Um, I like it. I don't know. I know there was a lot of controversy, good and bad, about SGMP, how that went, because that really was such a testing ground the first year there. A lot of smoke shows, a lot of pedal fest. We didn't get to see a lot of good side by side racing, people would argue. Honestly, for me, I don't care. I don't mind. I like it. I like the new look. I like the difference. I like seeing it shake those tried and true teams up. I like seeing Matt Latino beat Greg Anderson in a hole shot. I like seeing them pedal pro stock cars when they've never had to do it before. I'm sure the teams don't like it. I'm sure the people who buy the parts don't like it, but it is something new and interesting.
Definitely. I like the mystery that surrounds. It's going to somewhere that people either have little or no data to access and to see. So it truly comes down to being an all-out race. All-out racing is the best form of racing. I'm going to use another stock car reference. You have less practice time, less on track time. You usually have a really unpredictable race. So
Right.
it carries over across all platforms of racing. So that great unknown of and the sky's the limit. This could be it's either going to be a pedal fest, a smoke show, or it's going to be a certified banger. There's
Yeah.
those are your three options you get. It's going to be one of those three. I hope it's going to be. I hope it's going to be the third one.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would be interested on how many people in the crowd work that they do on NHRA.TV that you ask say this is the first time I've ever been to an NHRA event because there's been truthfully nothing in that area that makes sense for them to attend. How many brand new NHRA fans do we have the possibility of getting hooked on Nitro like you've talked about seeing these drivers and like all of a sudden just becoming like enamored by them. I mean, there's so many people. Oh my god, we keep talking about stock car, but look at all the people who have cup like that are cup drivers that like people are just like, I live and breathe and die for them to win and do well. How many people will become those kinds of fans for our sport after this weekend? I hope a
Absolutely.
lot. I hope a lot.
Absolutely. I feel like within my true year and some change, true fandom of being a drag fan, I feel like I've converted several people right over to following, and now they're following
Yeah.
along. They're texting me on the weekend, being, "Hey, did you catch Proc? You made it down the. Did Patty go 340? Did you sit the colliders on?" Like I feel like myself being like un, unofficial spokesperson for it, but also being able to say, "Hey, there's a race that's coming within 50 miles of you, 100 miles of you, 250. It's a couple hour drive. Definitely go check it
Yeah.
out if you can,
Right.
because it will change. It'll change your perspective completely. It will get you hooked.
Yeah.
Once the nitro fumes hit you, it's on.
Yeah, and you feel it. I mean, that is my favorite part. Yes, the fumes and the sound, but when you feel it roaring past you, it's crazy and indescribable. And kind of a little scary at first. Like I remember dating my husband uh for like I don't even know, a couple of months and I was like, "We're going to drive 8 hours to go see this race cuz I love where it is and I love this stupid sport and you're coming with me." And we get there and I'm kind of like scared. I'm like, do you like this? Do you think it's is it fun when you feel it? I don't know, but I'm telling you it's you have to be there to really understand it and appreciate it. So,
Yep.
if you're in any Maryland area, uh go sell it out. Go sell it out. It's totally worth it. It would be a great thing to have that. But other than that, I guess the only thing we were going to be trying to watch this weekend isn't happening anymore.
Nope. Unfortunately, the first leg of the IHRA Triple Crown event has been postponed due to
Yeah.
forecasted inclement weather.
Yeah. Yeah,
Bummer.
the one thing they did say was that they're going to try to have it back at Maple Grove. I have to only assume, I'm looking at the entry list you provided here, that a lot of these, what I would call NHRA specific teams, are on it because they have data at Maple Grove, and it was a good opportunity for them to one, test, and two, win a lot of money.
Mhm.
I can't say I blame IHRA for making that call. It is a huge undertaking. I mean, this is a massive list compared to all of the events that they've taken on so far. Not to mention all the pro mod they're gonna have, all their Brat series, small tire. They do still like I forget what they call it there, but hot rod. I think it's super comp, technically crossover. I don't know. It's going to be a huge event. So calling it early, making that decision, I think is the best thing that they could do. But yeah, it does kind of suck. I was really looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I really was anxious to just see how the competition trickles down to that level from NHRA to IHRA, and
Yes.
maybe it would be somewhat of a I trying to think of a really good analogy here, but like, kind of a, shaking of the hands type deal of, hey, we have respect for your series. We also have respect for your series. Let's try to bridge the gap and some kind of work in some type of harmony, even though we are rival sanctioning bodies, but we can still have crossover with our competitors.
Yeah.
When Ron Capps Motorsports announced that they were going to attempt the Triple Crown, that was huge news. Being one of the top teams in NHRA and jumping down to IHRA, or jumping over to IHRA, pardon me. It was puzzling, shocking, yet also it did make sense. I looked at the schedule and it was like, okay, they got an off week there. They got an off week in okay, they got an off week in September. Hey, they might have a legit shot at being able to go for the million. But obviously Mother Nature now has kind of thrown a wrench into that.
Yeah.
The weekend, like we said, it's unknown when it's going to be. Knowing that the summertime, there's limited
Right.
weekends left,
Right.
very
Yeah,
limited.
absolutely. Like we just talked about, the Western Swing, the Big Go. I mean, all the teams prepping for that. But I will tell you, given and there's a lot of controversy with the IHRA about staff, the turnaround. Just had an announcement today. I mean, but I will tell you, I feel, and I'm not like an advocate necessarily for either places. I enjoy both of them. I'm a race car driver myself, so like for someone like me, I'm just trying to go racing. I'm just trying to watch racing. I'm not poo pooing anybody's program. But I feel like in my heart of hearts they will get this rescheduled and that they're going to do it and they're going to and because of all the reasons you just said and truthfully it's very interesting too because for a lot of people who are more in the modern day racing, like this wasn't a controversy back in the day. Was it a controversy that there was like two of them for sure? But like I can remember growing up that there was both of them, and people ran both of them. Clay Millican is like a multi-time IHRA Top Fuel champion. We've got real NHRA competitive drivers and teams that have come out of there. It just happened to not be able to continue. So I'm not mad that it's back. I'm excited to watch it. It's been really fun to watch so far. Looking at the entry list again, Jasmine Salinas, a name that has been at the IHRA events already and been very competitive. Um, Sean Reed has competed in them as well. He's also signed up for the Triple Crown. Lex June has been only running IHRA, already came out an event winner last year when they debuted the new series. So Scott Palmer, just as well, an event winner. He's been racing there. So I'm excited. I don't know. I'm excited. I think they're going to get it rescheduled, and I'm very curious. New names that we haven't seen in the IHRA series so far. Trip Tatum, which we really haven't seen him since his accident a whole lot, anyways. Excited to see what they can do. Spencer Massey, a returning driver, but a new team and team owner, right? Maddie Gordon, of course. Duh. Very interested to see what she can do in that series in the 8th mile. I guarantee you they're going to market the crap out of her, as they should. So take that. IHRA, if your marketing person is still working for you by the time you get this scheduled, sorry I had to say it. Take that with you. Yeah, otherwise, I mean, so far, not a whole lot for the top fuel. That is very different. Like I said, Lex June has already been there. Jasmine, Chuck Lofton has been there. Scott Palmer. But what a massive field for Funny Car.
Yes, it's healthy.
Wow.
It's really healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, returning names in that class as well. But NHRA teams that I would be terrified of that are joining this list, starting right at the top with Ron Capps. Dude's already
That's
won in the NHRA. That's
yeah,
terrifying.
yeah, and we know that he is a pedal fest king. He can easily hit an 8th mile.
Yep. Yep. And he will. And I don't, that's so interesting too. I'd be so curious to ask these teams, are you going, is this really just like a test for you? Are you going to pedal it? Or are you just going to let them go? I don't need to win this. Or are you in it for the purse? Are you really going to pedal it? Are we going to try to, not try? Are we going to wreck parts to try to win, right? Not try to wreck parts, but like, is that, because there are teams on here like Lex June, like Sean Reed, like Jasmine Salinas, that I think would all do that to get a win and get this purse. I don't know if Ron Capps would. I don't know. I think Terry Haddock would. I've seen that guy hit a wall once already, so I think he would. Trying to win
I,
a race.
I mean, if I'll be honest, I'll give my opinion. If you're jumping from NHRA to IHRA for this, I think you're legit. You're going all out. You want to get
I
that
would.
money. It's
Yeah.
not even about track data. It's really just about we're going for the money. We got
Yeah.
the parts. We got the funding. Hell, let's go race.
Right.
So yeah,
And the really nice part about IHRA 2 is that their stream is on YouTube and it's
yeah,
free. And it's on Speed Sport and it's free there too. So what an insane thing to be able to tell your marketing partners. You don't need NHRA.tv to watch me in real time. You can watch me on YouTube right now and see the results in real time return on investment just as well. And they do very good televised production there, in my opinion.
yeah,
It's a little rocky at first, definitely got a hard start, but I mean, you would not be able to tell by watching them that that's just a completely free program. They do good interviews, they do good packages. So that's a great return for people like Ron Capps who have a full time sponsor running on him.
yep, definitely, definitely.
Excited to see Bobby Bodie. I'm assuming that's the third. It doesn't say,
I,
but I'm assuming that's Bobby Bodie
I,
the third.
I think it is if I remember from the list.
Yeah, I think that's Bobby Bodie the third. But excited to see him because I mean, he is a longtime driver. That is a competitive team. Del Worsham are returning to IHRA, multi-time IHRA event winner already. Del and Bobby Bodie have worked together, so very interesting for that. Um, Paul Smith, John Smith, Paul Lee, John Smith. That's what it is. Paul, what? Yes, John Smith. My
Yep.
glasses are on and they're not working still.
Paul Lee is
He,
entered though. Another guy
Paul
dropping his
Lee is another terrifyingly competitive car, but John Smith made it to the finals at the last IHRA event. Another great team that I would also be afraid of. Jody Austin, that's a great one too. I mean, they're getting that car worked out, but also Jeff Deal and Joe Morrison. Part-time teams we don't see a lot, and that would be really cool to see them there.
I think it's just a great opportunity for anybody to try to go after that cash. And
Yeah,
any of those teams, they have a legit shot. I mean, if you have a piece and you know that you can get down an 8th mile, you're going to show up. So I
yeah.
honestly, I think with this postponement, that entry list could grow.
Absolutely. Yeah, and especially given when they announce the date, that could maybe be a variable for a lot of people. The only variable I would be interested in talking to any of these NHRA, I put quotes around it because some people do both, of course, teams about specifically first timers like Maddie Gordon or Ron Capps or Paul Lee would be, how do you feel about the qualifying? Because this specific race, this specific format, they only do Friday and Saturday. You get, I believe, two qualifiers,
Yeah.
and that's it, as opposed to four.
Yeah.
So you got a lot less of a chance to try to. Oh, it's okay. We can go out and kind of just lob a tune in the first one. I don't think the teams in the IHRA series can do that.
Mm-mm. Nope, it is definitely more. It's part conservative with the parts, but also realizing, hey, I got to give it all I got because I got two opportunities, and if I screw one up, I cannot screw the second one up, and if I do, I'm going to be on the bottom of the ladder, and I'm really going to be hating life going into eliminations tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah, and not only that, but you know, I think for some of the teams, especially when the IHRA was initially concepted this second time, there wasn't enough to fill the ladder as it was. So you had a lot more what I could call testing runs. You had a lot more opportunity to get your feet wet and try. Like Lex June, someone who maybe hasn't stood out a lot, won a whole event because he was able to just put A to B passes down and make it through when other people couldn't. So now that this is kind of gaining traction and we have this Triple Crown series with such a big purse, I mean, Funny Car Field is full. I don't I would have to look and educate myself a little better about how many they allow in, but there is a good possibility people will not qualify for this
Mm-hmm.
first event, which hasn't
Very
historically really happened in this series yet.
Yeah, it would be really interesting to see how much it can or will grow, or even I would hope it would not shrink. I say that hesitantly just because of when would the
Yeah.
postponed date be? If it
Yeah.
clashes with the West Coast swing, or if it clashes on an actual event weekend, which I think that would just be schedule suicide to say
Yep.
for IHRA. Once again, trying to do this whole crossover mending fences type thing. I don't
Yeah.
think they would intentionally try to schedule it for a weekend with an NHRA event already on the
Yeah.
schedule.
I know that they have some, right, that are already scheduled on the same weekends and that's cool. But I think for this specific one, knowing that like Ron Capps and Maddie Gordon are not going to be coming to this event. I think what they're probably looking at is like the geographic location
Mhm.
and timing, right? You're
Right.
not going to schedule it right after Pomona or something. Uh, that would make no sense being at Maple Grove. They have to be on this side of the country, on this side of the planet. It has to be not during an NHRA time. That has to be tricky. I don't envy them for trying to figure this out, but I'm sure they will find one. And I'm sure if they were smart, they would be talking to these teams and drivers and owners and verifying, hey, does this work for you guys? We really want to make this work for you guys. We really want you here. How does
Right.
this weekend look before they say, yep, this is it? I mean, they own the track now, so they can kind of just probably throw it in whenever, right?
Yeah, technically speaking, they can. They can just put it wherever they want. And to have a healthy sanctioning body, you got to have healthy competitors. Reach out to your competitors, talk to them,
Yeah.
formulate a plan. Just don't go by a hair trigger. Try to
Yeah.
get this sorted out. Make it the best event possible that you can, given the
Yeah.
circumstances.
There, like I said, there's been some controversy since this has come back. A lot of questioning on the staff and the decisions that are made, and I'm hoping we don't get that with this. I'm hoping we'll just have, like you said, talking to the drivers, collaborating with them, and making this like an easy decision and one that we'll get to watch because I really want to watch it. And honestly, if you guys reschedule it for Milan, I will not be mad. Just kidding. Anyways. Did we have anything else, Adam? I think we've hit all of it.
I think we had everything on our hit list.
Yeah. Yep. I do too. Um, We will be back next week. I don't know if Adam will be back. I'm hoping Adam will be back. I will be back at some capacity next week. With funny car driver Spencer Hyde, we'll be able to catch up with and talk to. So that will be super exciting. Um, Nobody will want to miss that. So, anything else, I think, before we say goodnight?
Make sure to get to your local drag strip if you can this weekend. There's always action everywhere. You never know who's going to be the next big thing. So get out
That's
there,
right.
take a look, support your local tracks.
That's right. Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself, Adam, and I'm the race car driver. Golly. All
I'm
right.
the young kid at heart that always wanted to be a race car driver but didn't have the opportunity to be. So now I'm living it through the internet right here with you guys.
Yeah. And you're doing great. Thank you for talking about local tracks. We need to hear about that more. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, we're going to call it. Thank you everybody for being here. Sorry this stream was like a little different than others. Um we will get there. So, we'll be back next week with Spencer Hyde. I'm very excited for that. Otherwise, everybody have a great night. We will see you next week. Bye.